With businesses struggling to fill 11 million unfilled jobs, this could be even worse news for them. Some folks believe that another great resignation wave is coming in 2022. So is that possible? And how many struggling businesses will be forced to close up shop if that happens? Founder and CEO of the Muse career website, Kathryn Minshew, believes it will happen. Kathryn, what evidence do you look to that indicates that we'll have another great resignation wave?
Yes, there's a few different data points that I'm looking at. First is that we are regularly surveying users on the Muse, people who are coming to themuse.com to get career advice, think about their next move. And the pace of people who say they're likely to change jobs in the next 12 months is actually increasing. We saw 67% of people say in November of 2021 that they were planning to change jobs in the next 12 months, up from about 65% in July of the same year. So the number of people who are thinking about making a move is increasing. We also historically see a large wave of job search in January, February every year. This is something that tracks back a very, very long time. People have the holidays with their family. They think about their life, their career, their values, and then they come back sometimes after getting an end-of-year bonus and start thinking about making a move. So I think we can expect, unfortunately, to see another wave. And then finally, as businesses are starting to think about bringing back in-office work in some cases, ending work from home, that is likely to spur another wave. And again, we can talk about a little bit of the data, but I think we're in for a bumpy few months for business owners.
Well, we have 11 million unfilled jobs right now, and that number keeps going up, by the way. It was about a month ago, it was 10.3 million. Now it's 11 million unfilled jobs. A lot of small companies simply will not survive, not having the personnel because they can't afford it to hire the people. They can't afford it, or people for life change reasons decide that they're not going to go there. So eventually, not only will the jobs disappear, but a lot of the businesses that supply the jobs will disappear.
I do think that that's a possibility. And I think one of the questions is, are we creating an environment where new businesses can be started? And also, I do think that one positive outcome of this change we're in now is that businesses are really being forced to look at, are they offering a great environment for their employees? Are they offering the sort of job that somebody would want to take? CEOs have been saying for years that our people are our greatest asset, but the truth is a lot of businesses haven't acted like that. And I do think this labor shortage is really forcing a conversation that could lead to some improved worker conditions and hopefully a better match between skills needed and skills provided in the labor force.
Yeah, well, a lot of employees may find out that they don't have enough money to put the food on the table at night. So, I mean, it's nice to have options. And right now we have tremendous options. But pretty soon when businesses start dying, you're not going to have those options anymore. That's when things are going to get really tough.